Okay. I get how that title looks, but I promise you, I mean it in a good way. Hey, hi, hello, my name is Levin, and welcome to my channel where I talk about whatever I want. And as I'm writing this, I just got home from the theater from watching Marvel's Thunderbolts. And goddamn, I had an insane experience in theaters before. Look back at my Sonic video. But I would like to say I was having quite an experience in the theater for Thunderbolts. I love movies, and when I see a good one, I make it everyone's problem, hence me having a YouTube channel in the first place. Speaking of, you should subscribe if you like my energy already, because it only goes up from here. But yeah, all that said, I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to do something different on this channel and try to make this as spoiler-free as possible, just because I think this movie is amazing and that you should definitely go check it out in theaters. But let's get started. First off, I think a lot of people are forgetting how much people didn't like this movie from the trailers, because all I've seen is praise and people talking about how they knew this would be good from the first teaser. And like, I really like it. But it really wasn't hype from that first trailer. If anything, there was a bit of a dogpile of this movie before it even started the official circuit. To quote my good friend Echo SD, "I'm sorry, I just remember your reaction the most vividly. I felt empty inside watching this first trailer." Which, dramatic? Probably. Echo is a YouTuber after all. But the sentiment was a lot of people were saying it was going to be bad. And look, the teaser came out when it was cool to hate on any and all MCU movies or shows. This was at the same time when Wakanda Forever was still being called a dogshit movie. So a lot of this dogpiling is the result of contrarianism and not what a lot of people genuinely thought. And I get that. But I want to point it out because this might genuinely be one of my favorite movies that I've ever seen, and it deserves to be called out that so many people were wrong about what this movie would be. Am I being dramatic? Probably. I am a YouTuber after all. Now let me make it clear, I love a lot of Marvel movies. I'm Gen Z. Iron Man came out when I was starting kindergarten, and I've been watching these kind of as far back as I can remember, but I'll be the first to admit when they haven't all been bangers. But I can say that they are definitely more often than not just fun movies, which they should be. These are movies about superhumans wearing spandex with absurd logos on their chests, trying to save the world. At the end of the day, the very least they should be is fun. But it's always awesome to see the few movies that really push it, and not in the dark and gritty, let's see how far we can take this, but in the let's use this to say something that really needs to be said. Thunderbolts is a movie about redemption. It's a movie saying you are not alone, and if you haven't watched it, then go into it with that phrase in your mind, and you will have a very different experience than any other Marvel movie I can think of. How does it say it? By letting the movie breathe. This movie stands at 2 hours long, and it has a lot of scenes just letting the actors, well, act. Well-written scenes. With a cast this stacked, it shouldn't be a crazy idea. Sebastian Stan and Florence Pugh are both Oscar noms, people, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, David Harbour, and Lewis Pullman are all pretty well loved by the Emmys. Wyatt Russell and Olga Kournick have a good amount of critical acclaim as well. Point is, yeah, these actors can act. And with other superhero movies, which will go nameless, they too have actors who are amazing. But in this movie genre, rarely do we get to see it to this degree. Real quick, speaking of Lewis Pullman, I must ask, why is he not a bigger star? He's been nothing short of amazing in everything I've seen. Maverick, Strangers, he's very fun in Strangers, and now this. I need more of him. I mean, I was so down for when Steven Yeun was originally rumored to play Sentry, and it was a little sad when he said he wouldn't be playing him, but if I had realized that Lewis Pullman was the one who was cast instead, I would have been shouting this movie's praises from the rooftops. This movie doesn't go out of its way to make something look cool. Don't get me wrong, this movie is beautifully shot, but it's not like pretty in the common sense. It has a great amount of cool and fun sequences, but it never feels like it's going out of its way. It's not trying to have that Hollywood blockbuster look. These actors cry, like genuinely ugly crying, and Andrew Joe Palermo's cinematography is so incredible. He's also worked with Marvel before, look at Moon Knight, and he was also in that Green Knight movie that came out a bit ago. I only mention this because some of his crew members are working on the FNAF films, and I want you to watch that video. Hey, link's up there, by the way. There's a lot of very well utilized handheld tracking shots, and all the camera ops deserve some applause because it looks amazing. And the colors. Look, I'm a fan of colors in my superhero movies, but I think the way this movie went, it greatly benefits from having more muted color palette because firstly, these aren't heroes, they're shadow ops, and secondly, when they use the color you notice, and finally, they're literally fighting a villain named The Void, it makes sense to have desaturation. Story-wise, it's great. It's a little hard for me to talk about that how I want to because, well, I don't want to spoil this for you because I genuinely think you should see this in a theater. I love Yelena's arc the most, surprise, surprise, but like, hey, if something's good, something's good. The story definitely delves a lot into mental health, which I was not expecting from a Marvel movie. I'm not really sure why a lot of the newer Marvel movies have a lot of heavier subject matter than people would like to give them credit for. I've read Sentry's appearances, and I know the writers also use him to explore mental health a lot, and the Void is the perfect villain for it, but I don't know, I just didn't expect it. I have so many reasons to have expected it, but I didn't. Part of the many aforementioned scenes of them just directly talk about depression, and not in a way that misses the mark, like in a way that hit me hard. I was crying in this theater. I don't cry often, and I know you wouldn't know from watching this channel, but like, I was sobbing in this theater. Real quick point on the CGI too, they all need a raise. And not just because of the severe workplace mistreatment from Marvel, but because the CGI in this movie is actually insane. The Void shots had me audibly oohing and awing in the theater like I was a kid again, and there's a specific scene where I gasped and grabbed my poor friend's hand out of shock. And slightly related, the sound design is so fucking good. I saw a couple clips people recorded in theaters, which, by the way, don't do that and post it on the internet, dummies. And I can 100% say, if you've only seen the re-uploaded clips, you are not experiencing this movie the way it should be. The score by Sun Lux is so incredible and so subtle. Me and my friend group have had the Void's theme on literally since we saw the movie. Okay, time to pivot. Now, look, I'm aware of the irony that this actual review of the movie isn't a lot of this video, but this came out while I was writing it and I have to mention it. Bob Iger is a piece of shit for using the Thunderbolts as a time to introduce the new quality over quantity model of Disney. It's super shitty as a CEO to be constantly throwing away your good shows and projects with creators actively seeking sequels while constantly rebooting and reviving movies that shows desperately. Using the good press of Thunderbolts to cover up for the fact that you have been fumbling in your eternal quest for greed is beyond absurd. Bobby boy, nothing you did helped Thunderbolts, I promise you. It is the cast and the crew's hard work. I'll give more credit to Kevin Feige than I will to you. And look, maybe if you paid your CGI team well and gave credit to the directors like they deserve, pay your cast a livable wage and don't spit in the face of what they do for your company, and weren't talking about wanting to make most of your movies AI to cut labor costs because you're so greedy and talentless, I'd let you have that win. Alas, there have been no indications that any of that is happening. So I just wanted to make it clear, Bob Iger is a greedy CEO, and to anyone who watches the movie, give all of your support to the cast and crew. This movie boils down to, we're all going through something. All of us, no matter where you are, you're going through something. It may not be big, but it doesn't have to be. We live in a scary world, much scarier than it was when this movie was written. We're all losers in some way, and that gives us all the more reason to stick together. Support each other, open up, because we're all stuck on this hell rock together. Why shouldn't we make each other be the best we can be? I wish I could talk about this more, and maybe in a couple weeks I'll make a follow-up talking about specific scenes and going into all the themes. But for now, this is where I'm going to leave it. A short and simple look at a great movie. Hi, welcome to the end card. These videos seem to be getting a lot shorter by the upload, I know. Don't worry, the next one I have planned should hopefully be a little longer. I just saw this movie and I really wanted to say something about it because I think it is genuinely one of my favorite movies of the year. I hope you like the new background. I've decided to kind of switch my video looks to match my live streams more. If you hate it, let me know in the comments. And hey, go follow my Twitch to be in on those live streams. They're really fun to do. And of course, like and subscribe if you haven't already. These videos may not come out very often, but when they do, I'd love for you to be able to see them and be. The Losers Club is small but mighty, it seems. Alright, thanks for watching. That's all I wrote.